Okay, we're back. And we're going to head into the Orcish Mines. And we're mostly going to tab things in here, unless we see a sorcerer. Now, I have 1,400 gold. So, we're pretty well set up to buy things if need be. We don't have an amulet yet, but I don't know if it's worth spending the money on this regeneration. We'll find out. Is what we'll do. Like I won't use it just yet. Scroll of blinking. Scroll of teleportation. Well, I'll buy the potion. How are we doing on blink and teleport? Oh, we don't have any on the blinking. So, yeah, we'll spend the money on that. That's fine. It's pretty good stuff. Looks like Trog gave me some more confusion needles. Cool find. We have enough now to really use quite a lot of them. Why don't we just go ahead and use some on what's-her-face here? I'd like to take her out. Wow. Not ideal. Confused didn't last as long as I would have liked. That was a very wasteful brother-in-arms. Totally not necessary. I should have just reconfused. Well, what I should have done is I should have walked away as soon as I had her confused. Let's mark down that we want the Lamp of Fire, but not buy it yet. Okay, so here's a good opportunity. Yeah, wow, the confusion is not lasting too long. Okay. Orc 1 should be fully explored, since all the staircases are evident. Let's see what kind of Orc 2 we have. Looks like a pretty generic layout so far. Nothing special like the ogre ending, giant ending. I don't really care what that Fustibalus is, honestly. Okay, fine. I keep wanting to not put on See Invisible, and it's pure laziness is what it is. I'm expecting, well, it's not really laziness, it's just like I'm expecting, okay, this character is just gonna be able to melee this stuff to death, right? No need to even bother. But it really does seem to wreck your accuracy. Easy enough to confuse him. Just had to get through the shield. I like when he's confused, he thinks that everything's okay. Because otherwise he's, he's like everything sucks, you know? He's always saying, I don't like that. It's kind of cool how whoops. The monsters, or the uniques, seem to have a personality. Some characterization, which is... I do find it interesting how this game creates a quasi-story, but not really. Always like to see Cyclops on ogres and trolls, since it just means more large rocks for me. Not that we're gonna have an ammo problem in this game, but you know, you can never have too many large rocks. We'll do some inventory management once this is clear. Surprisingly, we have no orc sorcerers yet. Which is, I mean, totally fine by me. Oh boy. Alright. Definitely want to do that. We one-shot the sorcerer, except we don't. He just stepped out of range. Let's wear the blowgun and see if we can confuse this dude. We're gonna try to kill this thing. Cool, that works. I'm just gonna chuck javelins at this guy. I know that he can hit me, but it wasn't likely. I mean, he got me like one time. But in general, it's very rare, you know, if they have like 7 or 8 other squares to walk into, They probably won't walk into yours. You need to be aware that it's possible, though. And plan accordingly. Ooh, Wrath of Trog. Very generic weapon. It's like almost strictly worse than, probably strictly worse than an Executioner's Axe or Anti-Magic. Would be nice if it had like MR Plus or something on it. We're not going to be using that today, of course. Now we might be using a shield though. We only have to take it to 9. Yeah, why don't we do it? Let me just make sure. 1.7 XL. Let me just throw a javelin real fast, see how fast it is. 95.4, 96.2. So it's still in 0.8. Whoops, I didn't mean to dump my character. Yeah, but yeah, we are slowed by the shield skill, so you know, we'll make an effort to deal with that by training nothing but throwing for a while. I'm gonna put a point of intelligence here. I understand we have these rings, but we might not be wearing them forever. We'll keep our magic on, since turning a corner and getting paralyzed is no fun. We'll swap out. Nah, we'll keep the AC for now, but that'll change soon. Soon I'll have these 2 rings on full time. I just need to, you know, I need the basics for now. Maybe once I find some decent dragon armor, we can afford to lose that for AC, but for now it's something I'd rather have. Okay, we have our core, so we pretty much have everything we would want to do slime at this point. Not that we would do slime this early, but when the time comes. Alright, inventory management time. Obnoxious but necessary. We'll drop all tomahawks. This will be fine for now. Wand of Enslavement, that might make me train a bit of evocations. But definitely not just yet. The shields. Shields is what's most important right now. Okay. Swap on Synth to take that out. And then we'll just keep going. We're going to do the usual path. We finished orcs, so now we're going to clear out dungeon. Oof. Could have taken some big damage there. Why don't we leave this? It has apportation, so could be useful in the future, perhaps. Okay, this is easy enough. We'll just confuse and then go to work with stones. Maybe a javelin, I guess. Nothing in that shop that I want. I could swap to RF Plus for things like that, but that red ugly thing. Alright, I want this lightning rod. Cool. Continue downwards. Oops. Pulling a little too much, and I also walked past the staircase, so that was a mistake. And you know what I would like? I'd like penetration. That's something we don't have. Oddly enough. Usually Trog would have gifted that by now, but nope. Okay, Maurice. Slow down, Maurice. We confuse him, good. Let's take him out with the rocks. I don't even want him to confusedly walk into me. Need to drop some things. Let's use up some of this identify. Okay, well that's cool. I'm going to save my enchant armor from now on. And I'm going to drop my enchant weapon because we already have +9 blowgun. But yeah, this character's doing well enough that I think I can... I don't have any qualms about holding on. To my enchant armor. Not having penetration makes certain situations a little scarier, like this one. I'm just gonna see if I can, yeah, get shafted. Yeah, see, like, what am I supposed to do here? If he hadn't blinked next to me, this would have been really annoying. I didn't need to emulate there. Just for fun. We're allowed to have fun. Even if we are trying to win, you know. It's possible to have a little bit of fun. And still be playing mostly optimally. Wow, shields is taking a really long time to get to 9, but -2 apt really shouldn't surprise anyone. Fight these guys on the staircase. It's kind of funny that I can melee most things with my claws with absolutely zero training. just because claws are so good. Oh, come on. I don't want to get MR/2 and then Agony, so we'll go to the staircase. Likewise, I don't want to be slowed. Wow. Man, large rocks are just so ludicrously good. Base damage of 20, I mean, come on. There should be like a special shop that sells steel large rocks. Just an iron ball that you throw. I guess that wouldn't make a lot of sense. I mean, you guys probably not strong enough to carry such a thing, even if he is a troll or an ogre. We'll lightning rod this to finish him off. Cobalt packs in the late dungeon are weird because, like, none of it's scary, except for the demonologist, and that's only if they choose to summon the correct demon. I guess we can do this for a little while. The AI is weird because it'll just keep walking backwards. You know, it'll run away from my onslaught of ranged attacks, and then, you know, it'll come right back to me. So it's kind of funny. It's a rather large D14. I mean, wow. Very open. Very spacious. A lot of things to explore. And we still got that whole little castle thing to explore and the bottom right portion of the map. Trying to avoid getting too drained by these whites. Oh, right. Paralysis. Pull this guy up on his own. We'll just let him shaft himself if we have a problem. But we didn't. Done exploring, it says. I feel like there was something I was trying to remember to do. It just slipped my mind. Something on this floor. Oh, right. I saw this shield. Just a generic +2. Well, we have to decide based on which one looks cooler. I'm gonna have to go with the non-standard sort of, because this one looks too much like a regular kite shield. Very important optimization. How good does the sprite look? Okay, we'll put throwing back on. Uh-oh. I guess we'll confuse them. I bought Berserk Rage strictly to identify it. Speaking of buying things, I feel like I should go buy that Lamp of Fire. We shouldn't be fighting all this stuff. I wanted to kill that, I wanted to kill that Manticore before it was a problem, but no such luck. So we're just going to have to use Brothers in Arms to deal with the problem. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work. Let's do it again. Bit of a waste of piety. Not too bad, though. I do like how Trog, with, you know, by virtue of Brothers in Arms, it allows you to... Whoa. Get out of here. It's always surprising to see a ghost moth just hanging out. Got him. But yeah, ghost moths, I'm not sure if they're supposed to spawn in dungeon. I guess they can, but it might have been a shapeshifter. Alright, into Snake Pit. Now, we're going to go into Snake Pit first because I have Auralak if I want to, by virtue of, boom, we're in this rapier. And we have our poise thanks to, well, the same rapier, or I could put on a ring for it. And if I want to, I can have RF plus for the salamanders, so we're quite alright. Ooh, +5 Amulet of Reflection, well that's worth using, especially in here. I prefer Reflection over Regeneration, and now I'm glad I didn't spend the gold on those things. In fact, there's a Lamp of Fire right there. If I can clear up the inventory space for it anyway. Which we will do right now by dropping Wand of Confusion. It might seem weird that I'm carrying around all these evocations without training any yet. Normally I would train it up to 5 like right now. It's just that, like, oh man, my aptitudes are bad, you know? And I just really want to focus on... Oh. I was going to say I really want to focus on getting, throwing up. So we would have been in a much worse situation there if we didn't have our elect on. So I would have gone into shoals first if I didn't have our elect. Probably should have identified that digging. Minotaur Berserker Ghost. Quite tough. And we've got this cute Zot Trap Vault, which I'm probably not going to go into. Maybe we'll learn Rapid Deconstruction for it, but we're certainly not going to walk in. It's suicidal. Alright, now let's head back up just for a minute. I'm going to buy some Identify. Digging. This is good. We get to empty out an inventory slot as well, because Potion of Brilliance, not something we need. Okay, cool. Back to Snake Pit. I'm gonna see if I can kill this. Oh man. Wow, he's so good. We got a good one. Can he do it? Go Gadget Iron Troll, and he does it really good. Not a lot that a Raging Iron Troll can't kill. Alright. We will use MR++ to start with. I want to see if I can't lamp of fire this dude. Of course it doesn't work right. That's fine. Let's just confuse him, so we aren't taking a bunch of damage while this is going on. And that's it. Alright, so as usual, couple artifacts in here. Usually it seems to be 2 rings. I don't know if that's hard-coded or just a coincidence. They could be totally useless. They could be totally awesome. They could be +10 strength, +6 slaying, you know, for all I know. But no matter how good they are, they're not worth me going into this, like, total hellhole, for lack of a better word. So we come back with LRD, or not at all, and we tear in through the back. Anything else is just hubris. I mean, you could... The stuff is probably asleep in there. Probably. Maybe not. Sometimes it wakes up on its own. Wow, why don't we dig out? I may end up having to heal here. Whoa, 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 whoa. We want to have RF plus on. Oh, are you kidding me with this? Okay, I'm going to heal wounds. Cutting it way too close. Why don't we dig out, actually? No reason to take these kinds of risks, you know? Let's drop polymorph. That's really never useful. Well, I mean, it can be useful, but it's never optimal as far as I'm concerned. Our defenses suck. Really, really, really... Oh, wow. Whoops. I wasn't wearing this rapier the whole time, which is why I was taking so much damage from the electric. So that was a mistake. Very contested sort of entranceway to this floor. Like all of these entranceways are contested. Come on with this. Okay. Book of Fire. Used for its proper purpose, which is burning. We still have RF Plus on. I'll just put on the claws and take this out. This is a little rough. This is a little rougher than I was expecting. Normally don't have this rough of a time on a Berserker in a lair branch. But you know, unless I'm willing to really use my, really use my blowgun, which I am on certain targets, but I don't want to. I don't want to use it. I don't want to overuse it because there's only so many needles, you know. Although we do have curare here, so why don't we grab that? Unfortunately, curare is not going to be handy against the Nagas in here, since there are poison. We're burning through food as well. That can't really can't be helped in here. Since almost none of it is edible. What are you gonna do, you know? Okay. Being surrounded sucks. Let's see if we can fix this a little bit with the lamp of fire. Okay, I'm gonna do what I should have done a minute ago. I'm gonna confuse this thing. We're gonna kill it as well. Confused first, so it couldn't start surrounding me again. Even without any evocations, this does pretty okay damage. Most important thing about it, it's accurate. I don't have to fool around with, like, will this hit, will it not hit? It's always going to hit. It's pretty much always, I don't think that it can miss at all. And I don't think that it's possible for it to do 0 damage either. I could be wrong on that last point. But I like it for the reliability. Hence the reason I always carry it around even if I don't have any evocations. It's still useful. Now I would like to identify some more of this stuff. Why don't we drink up some of these stacks? Okay, degeneration. Might. Oh man, I wasted haste. That sucks. But I really wanted these things identified, since I could see myself needing a little bit of a boost at this layer, or this branch end. I don't like the fact that I wasted a haste and a might, but it's okay. If ever there was a character that's eventually going to end up with too many, it's probably this one. I mean, we're a pretty solid combo here. Hey, I've been waiting for these. I want to use up my poison javelins. Like, honestly, I want them to go away. It's actually our first sharpshooters of the game. A little surprising that they showed up so late, and with Vashinia, no less. What am I doing? Vashinia is just more or less a generic sharpshooter, except that they have she has Guardian Serpent abilities as well. All that blinking stuff. So what we're going to do, of course, is confuse. Using my javelins of silver. You know, mainly because I wanted her out. I didn't want to have wasted that confuse. I gotta try this thing on. Could have been faith, which is of course what we want over everything else on this character. On most characters, really. I gotta tell you, these things do get old, dealing with this stuff. The Guardian Serpents. As I'm always saying, positioning is hugely important in this game. Not just your position, but the enemy's position. So, I mean, if you think about it, it's the most important thing. You can't really plan for anything if you don't know where your enemies are, where they're going to be in the next few turns, so on and so forth. What is going on with this sea snake? He took a bunch of large rocks to the face and just didn't care. But yeah, I mean, in particular, nobody wants to be surrounded. Even if you have an axe, the truth is, being surrounded sucks. Everything else is getting more attacks than you are. And you don't have enough hit points. And you could have 350 hit points, and you still won't have enough hit points to survive being surrounded by the wrong stuff. So, you don't want to be surrounded in this game, usually. Almost always. There's a difference between being able to survive being surrounded and wanting to be surrounded. A lot of people will go out of their way to be surrounded on an axe user. And as fun as that is, like, oh cool, I'm killing everything at once on Berserk, cool. There's no way that that's more optimal than kiting everything one by one, fighting it at a staircase even, pulling it up a couple at a time, you know, so on and so forth. All this evasion, come on. I'm a hungry, hungry troll. It is cool that I can kill things with stones. I mean, that's definitely a good sign of the character's hitting its stride. Use large rocks against the tough stuff. Let's pull back. Another reason I chose Snake first over Shoals. Can't really run away from things in Shoals half the time because of the fact that it's so fast and there's a lot of water for them to be fast in. Them being a lot of different stuff, but I mostly mean merfolk of various types. But even sea snakes move fast in the water, I believe. Whereas in here, other than like anacondas and black mambas, which are easy enough to deal with, all the nagas are slow. You know, you could just walk away from them. Really, the only thing in here that gives me any kind of fear is the thing that I'm fighting right now. It's doing a ton of damage to me. The lightning, electric, whatever. Electric snake, or whatever it's called. Excuse me, shock serpent. Let's check when we're going to be done training large rocks. 3.1 XLs. Okay. A little while yet. Of course, the Guardian Serpents. Little addendum to my comment about the speed of the Nagas in here. Guardian Serpents can ruin that for you. Throwing the whole thing on its head. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're slow, if the Guardian Serpents are fast enough to, you know, come right up and pull things around you. We've used up quite a few large rocks here. It's not so good. Of course, we'll have more soon enough. I suspect we've cleared a significant portion of the vault. Considering just how much of this stuff is coming at us here. Hey, I'm gonna... Well, once I get done getting teleported, I'm going to... Well, I was going to confuse the Nagaraja, but he seems to have... There we go. I was going to say he left, but there he is. As long as he doesn't haste, I really don't care. He's rather hurt now, so... There we go. Could have been bad, could have gotten bolted twice, but we have our poise, which halves the poison portion of the poison arrow, and very much reduces the damage of venom bolts, so we were probably okay. Guardian Serpents are always a little disconcerting to see. It's kind of like seeing a floating eye, only not quite as bad. It's just not something you want to deal with. Wow, another one. Oh, we'll get the confuse on him too. Or not. Amplifier. Suppose we'll focus down these Nagarajas. Happy Friday, he says. curious. Wow. Another pair of guardian serpents. A little surprising, I'm not gonna lie. They're very condensed here. Very packed in like sardines. There were like 5 guardian serpents right then and there. It's an interesting ring, but I'm not going to wear it. Okay, now we're in business. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're going to wear that. What a great amulet. Faith and a pip of resistance? I mean, I could give or take the stealth, but what a great ring, you know? Or amulet, rather. Piece of jewelry. Okay. Well... Okay, cool. Let's head into Shoals. A little confused here. Actually, I'm kind of curious. What's the chance? 13%. Yeah, I guess our MR isn't really great at all, even with the ring. It's not very surprising. Trolls don't get good MR. Oof, all that poison. Anyway, this Faith amulet is great because it means we get more ammunition gifts, which is exactly what we want. Whoa. I guess Louise can banish me, and I'd rather not be banished, all things being equal. I'm just gonna large rock her to death. I considered using my blowgun, but it's not really necessary. +2 large shield. Now, if we wanted to, we could go to 15 skill, which we probably will eventually because shields are great. But not just yet. That's another reason why throwing is probably technically superior to bows. With bows, you can't use a shield. It's a nice little extra layer of defense. Ooh. Tomahawks of dispersal, huh? By the way, I'm very happy to see shoals, even if it is a bit of a pain to do. Because it means more javelins, possibly even javelins of penetration, once we start running into javelineers. Plus, I mean, as you can see, we're really not having a hard time with anything yet. Just tabbing, really. Oops, don't want to be in the net. Let's see if we can't kill this with large rocks. There we go. Use regular stones on the weak guys. See what I mean about these guys moving very quickly? There's really no getting away if you're far enough out. Of course, I have ways of resetting the fight, you know, like fuse needles, things that most characters don't have access to. Wow. It's crazy how even basic merfolk can cause me a real issue. Bardage of Protection. Well, this might be a real pain, so why don't we curare him? Probably should have just confused, but I mean, I might as well get some use out of curare while it's still, while there's still relatively tough enemies around that are susceptible to it. Things that I can't just easily throw stones at to kill. It's kind of funny, like there's certain things later on, like Ettins, where sure you could curare them, but you could also just chuck like 2 javelins and they're dead, so sort of pointless. Alright, we're gonna put on fly. Take a look at the loot in here. Walk away from this guy. Okay, if you're gonna throw stuff at me. Wow, this kinda sucks. I wanted the things in his inventory to, you know, not end up in the drink, you know. Okay, let's leave. Okay, I'll identify this wand of digging, but we're just going to drop it. I'll drop one of them anyway. Since, of course, we don't need 2 on hand at a given time. Why don't we bring this fight to the staircase so it's safer? Okay, it's Ilsui. Let's go up, rest once, come back down. I see that she is going invisible. I'll go up, rest again, come back down. The reason is, of course, that she had the elementals. Oh, come on. Probably should curare her, but the thing is, there's just so much stuff around her. Honestly, I think I'm going to come down a different staircase. This is a good use for curare. Okay. Confuse. Didn't quite work, did it? Curare him. Take him out with large rocks. She's curaried. She's confused. The siren is now curaried as well. Take out the siren first. You know, I could have used penetration to hit both of them, but considering that they were both confused, it's not really a big deal. Looks like we're running a little bit over an hour, unfortunately, on this video, but I mean, sometimes it's hard to gauge how long a particular branch is going to take, you know? Wow, another staff of, or a spear of distortion. I'm gonna make a couple of brothers in arms. And I'm gonna penetrate through this stuff. Try to hit as much stuff as possible. We're gonna stay out of the water so we can't be smited, or water struck, rather. I'm gonna throw a large rock through this. Kind of figured it would get deflected. Nice. Faith makes me very much willing, you know, to blow a couple brothers in arms in situations where it might be necessary, it might not. Hard to say, really. I mean, that was a pretty bad situation. We had lured way too much stuff, and so the options were try to duke it out without the use of some kind of benefit like that, which might have worked, but probably not. What probably would have happened there is teleporting, which is the other option. I could have done that right off the bat, you know. Either way, you're going to have to use some kind of resource, probably. I chose piety because it's more, you know, I'm always getting it. This is a bit annoying. We could take a lot of damage here. So I'm going to heal wounds just to be sure. Ooh, is that a longbow flaming? Yes, it is. Alright, well, we've just upgraded this to a very bad situation. Why don't we try to confuse him? He is confused now. Now we'll try to confuse the Javelineer. Cool. Now if we just kill that, I can walk away just fine. A little bit sloppy there. Wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it was just a little sloppy. Oh yeah, we're not arc hold. 3d23. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to walk into the teleporter. I don't think we can die. There we go. Cool. I suppose I could put our cold on. Sort of annoying that I have to rely on stones, but I just didn't have anything else on hand. We've left all of our large rocks down here for the time being, thanks to that rather long engagement. Can we kill this with rocks? Yes, we can. Well, stones. Hey, Trog gave me needles of paralysis. Just using this dude's own javelins against him. I do not need to carry those javelins, not yet. Those nets can be deadly, by the way. I'm sure if you've... I mean, really, everybody spends some time dying in shoals, I think, because of how obnoxious it is. Once you get used to it, it's not that dangerous, but it seems like one of the most dangerous places in the game. I've noticed for, like, mid-level players, they will consider shoals to be one of the most dangerous places in the game. And I honestly don't blame them. Because it is pretty dangerous. There's just stuff you've got to do to counter it. Rain Wizard. This is a dude I've actually talked to, and he mentioned losing this summoner. He doesn't want to die, does he? Let's go back up. Yeah, we'll get my large rocks, you know, and then we'll take them out. Unfortunately, I can't use the needles on that. Marshrucks. I do find it kind of cool that in this game, I mean, don't get me wrong, I hate ghosts. I think that it's a bad mechanic, mainly because it can create, it's just not very balanced, you know? It can create issues that are very, very hard to resolve. It's like not, it can create things that are really not supposed to be on that floor, you know? Oh boy. You gotta be kidding me with this. There we go. This ghost is fine, but I'm mainly talking about like early dungeon ghosts that have Chaos Brand, that are fast, that kind of thing. I mean, I have very few pet peeves in this game that make me think, wow, that mechanic is not just bad, it's like terrible. But that's one of them. Any kind of thing that can just sort of kill you, and there's nothing you can do about it, I think is very bad. If there's no way to prepare better to stop that thing from happening. Just a thought. So like early monsters with wands. Oh, hey, it's this guy. Yeah, early monsters with wands and ghosts are really the two things I'm talking about. Ghosts with brands that are particularly nasty and are too fast to get away from. But in general, I think the ghost mechanic is cool. It's very flavorful. It's interesting. It's fun. It's just not fun when the thing that it spawns is completely out of depth and in some cases impossible to deal with without dying. I do think that you could, if you had a little more intelligent of a system, and I don't think it would be that hard to code, you could lock it so that ghosts will not show up at particular points in the game. I mean, it really wouldn't be that hard to develop a scale of like, is this ghost powerful or not? You would have to hard code certain things, unfortunately. But you could avoid that by simply changing every brand to Vorpal. And I suppose you could just disallow certain spells. Like, what's that spell? Dazzle Spray, that, you know, when it's cast by a ghost, it both confuses you and damages you. Deflect missiles, blah, 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 blah. Regeneration. Okay, these are some books I might actually want at some point. Actually, no, not regeneration. Yeah, so we can burn this. That's necromancy. Okay. So that is the first two, well, those are the first two runes, Orc and Dungeon. Took about an hour and 20 minutes. Ran a little longer than I intended. I like to keep these under an hour, but like I said, sometimes you just don't know. Not sure where we're going to go next. I would say probably Vault, just 1 through 4. But then again, I might... You know, I'm thinking I'll probably roll into... Yeah, we'll probably go ahead and go into slime. Come to think of it. Yeah. My MR sucks, but I can pop on that ring and I can use Trog's Hand. So we're really quite ready. We don't have any summoning, unfortunately. We do have Brothers in Arms, and we'll probably get the Piety while we're in there to make a few. But most importantly, we have the Blowgun. We could just paralyze TRJ or confuse him. So he's not going anywhere once I get in there. I've got haste, I've got might, I've got agility, I've got resistance. I mean, we are good to go when it comes to TRJ. So I think it makes perfect sense for me to roll on into slime for my next rune. And then we'll see where else the video takes us next time. Until then, I'm signing out.